Oh, I'll say.
Yeah.
Then for somebody in it, most people.
Good.
All
right.
Thanks.
We'll call this meeting of the Buckfield Sumner Solid Waste Committee to order at 6:07 p.m. And we do have a quorum. Approval of the minutes from February 27th Solid Waste Committee. Sally and I were not there.
I've read over the minutes. I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Jesse, I don't, that's how you guys do it.
Yeah. Is anyone will abstain since we were. All right. Fiscal year 2023, 2024 financial.
Right, so there's not much there, but I wanted you all to be aware of where we ended with the transfer station. I know the Buckfield selectmen are used to seeing the trio reports. At the last meeting, I had explained to you that we paid 22, 23 expenses in the new books, so that's why the numbers don't match on the two forms. So this is actually where the transfer station ended up at the end of the year, and as you can see, we ended up $28,659 over budget.
Yes.
Most of that's directly related to the increases in fees that we're having to pay. And it seems like we're disposing of more trash than previous years, but fuel surcharges that started with COVID haven't really helped with anything. I know Bill went to the MWE meeting and he probably letting you guys know that they're charging us $25 a mattress now. Tipping fees went up from $45, $46 to $47, and I believe they're going up $1 per ton for the next 5 years. So there's some things that we're gonna need to look at.
I mean, if we're getting charged $25 mattress, then I mean, it may just be that if someone wants to bring a mattress to transfer stations, $5.
Good you said that because I put it on the agenda later on. So that's where the budget ended up. And then the next page is where the bank account is, so that the bank account's what's gonna absorb that overage that we had. So last year there was a $22,000 overage. You can see where it was taken out about the I put that line down. That covered the overage we had last year. So that would explain why we had increased this year, which you saw when you sent me the numbers. So if you take that 28 out of there, we'll still have what? $96,000. As long as interest rates and revenue from iron and stuff stay similar, it'll most likely rebuild up to where it is right now. But that was as of July 31st, June 31st, so you've received some money revenue. Bank account balance a little higher. Any questions?
No.
Questions or games? All right, disposal increases.
So I included the last month's invoices for MWE and RPs, since those are the two primary sources. Obviously, we pay to haul it from the transfer station, and then we pay to dispose of it at main waste. Primarily for your information, so that's an average month right there. We had higher disposals on it too, so you can see what we're paying currently. I didn't have time to put together another price chart of what we're paying for everything.
Right.
Waste wood goes to Re-Energy. That's another invoice. So, it's $154 a pull for waste wood, and then you go over there and pay another $125 per ton. So get rid of waste wood. So that's like,
Wow.
debris, construction debris.
Wow, that's pretty steep. I know, I don't know, it's appropriate time to bring it up, but granted, I loaded, but cross excavation for their live floor trailers. I've been given charged the last few buildings I demoed. I think they charged me 120 a ton to load anything that I could fit in the trailer and part it away.
Wow. So many notes. We haven't looked at other. I mean, since COVID, we haven't looked at other options for different things. Sure. It's kind of been, business as usual, just trying to keep everything running during the peak of it all, but. It's definitely worth looking at. Other alternatives for some of this.
Now, did Bill tell me correctly, we're paying like $15 per tire?
We do not, we don't take our tires to many ways. We go to the place up in Fairfield or Skowhegan up that way.
Yep.
And we currently pay. Well, yeah, right there, $165 a ton. But we also pay, I mean, the hauling is really, you pay a hauling fee of $260 to Archie. And then we go and drop it off and then we go on to spot. Yeah, it's always a double. And then of course we get hit with the $26 fuel surcharge.
Right.
Which, I mean, if you look at that one Archie invoice for July. You look at how many trips they made. $15.40 adds up over the course
To everyone, yeah.
of $360.
Yeah.
Right.
And then minus mattresses, last month was the first month they marked and we ended up with 20 mattresses in the month of July. Which is an extra $500. If we average that for the rest of the year, then we're looking at an extra $6,000 just for mattresses.
And I mean, the only other thing I can think of is the fact that obviously everyone pays town taxes that contribute to this, so maybe for those items that are expensive to get rid of, maybe they don't pay quite as much as we do since they're also paying taxes for it, but also, but here the things that are really expensive is what it is. And if you don't, then the person who is then hauling their trash and paying their taxes for 10 years and never bought a mattress, it's basically gonna flip the bill for the person that buys the mattress. Yeah.
So I know Oxford, I think, increased some of their fees and mattresses as well. I think they're doing the cost there. I think they're doing the same thing. I think they're charging like $15 per mattress. But they also charge for other items. I mean, we don't necessarily feel we have to charge for every little, nickel and dime that place. But the other question is, how do we handle that?
Right.
You got transfer station attendants, so they don't have change, so they can't really.
Right.
Well, how do you track it? Do they come to our town offices and get a mattress ticket?
Hey. Well, some places do something like that.
It's not a bad idea.
Then turn into it's gonna be a while before people use it, because then it turns into the transfer station guys going, where's the ticket? And then the guy's like,
I have an idea. Sorry, I'm laughing. If the transfer station people had the tickets, the dual tickets, just like when you do raffle tickets or whatever. When if someone brings in something like that, they could write down who it is, and their phone number on their ticket that they keep, and give the person dropping off the mattress or tires or whatever their ticket with within a month, go to the town office and pay your $15 fee, mail it in for your payment.
Right,
Mhm.
You deal that way, they wouldn't have to be dealing with
Right,
money,
yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
money
money-
staffing down there, so it's, I see where it would be tough, they're gonna chase
plus sometimes you go there when it's an open zoo too, you know,
them.
like, you get there at the wrong hour of the day and it's.
Stand could be caught back to you. Container, which is,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
There's not security cameras at the transfer station, or the
we'll have to get internet over there, laptops, that's not really. I. Comment over there, some issues I've had in the last couple of years. And that may be something to explore later on. As we get closer to the next fiscal year. What are you talking about, what?
cheaper to get one of those package deals on the solar powered game cameras and just send all the pictures back to your computer at the office.
So
Yeah,
I put a cell phone game out there because we were having, somebody was taking metal out of the metal bin. I got 1,500 pictures a day, it's like, it's impossible. Every time a car drove by that. It was miserable, I ended up taking it down just for the night, wasn't something, so.
that's pretty clear where it's, charges,
so it's,
yeah,
yeah,
it's taking a loss on it every year. Yeah, so, yeah. Even if we don't want to make money, it just helps, even it out.
Do we wanna consider cost sharing then, maybe charging $15? Then the budget will cover the other 10, like $10 is hard to argue then.
Will that cover it? Right.
It's tough. They've already paid taxes
Right,
for some of it, right, but now that it's increased and this price increase came out after we passed the budget.
right,
could we, how hard would it be for us to break down? Like the bulk piece and the tire piece. And then divide that out as far as how much tonnage came in and what would that would equate to roughly. I was trying to,
right.
my words clear on me.
No, I got you, trying,
And give us a ballpark of what we would have to
yeah.
charge on average.
And when they say mattress, are they also talking about couches?
No, that's the third part,
Curious.
couches are
only
fine.
charging for mattresses.
Only
That's
one.
weird.
We pay a higher rate for other bulky waste, I don't know what it is about mattresses. Unless it's because the newer mattresses have materials in them like,
fire retirement.
so. I'm not,
Yeah. I mean, I could see a charge of couches too, just
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah,
I was not aware that the. Meeting was taking place as well, then was our rep and he resigned, so. He used to get all the communications for that stuff.
gotcha.
I found out because I ran into the. So last year tires, it actually wasn't, I mean, it is significant, but it's 36.48 tons of tires. Which actually is a huge number in the grand scheme. It's gonna cost us more to get rid of mattresses than tires, if we keep that.
You said 36.4 tons,
36.48 tons.
It said average tire was £25.
No, that's right. That's just to get rid of it, that doesn't include the all.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
So it's like $6,000 just to dispose of them. And then, I mean, if it looks like 4 tons, so you take your 36.48. Divided by 4, so that was at least 9 loads, times 220. It's another 2,000, so you're just under $10,000 a year of tires alone. I don't know if I broke it out, but. It's It's $155 a ton for other bulky waste. We did 421.34 tons last year. $65,000 in that one bin, one side of it. Yeah, that's just as fun. I don't think.
Yeah.
And that was at the new rate. I can believe that price went up too, so I used the current rate. So if we do another 421 pounds, cost us about $65,000 for that. And then. So if it can go in the compact, you sure, because that's only $4 to $7 a ton.
Right. Just tossing other ideas out there, thinking about, the tickets, where we used to live in Chapley, they had. Every resident yearly got, was it two times? They got a card you could bring to the dump to dispose of something free of charge. It was good for 2 days a year or whatever, so basically you brought it there, you could get. Your pickup truck or trash or a few tires or whatever, and that was your one. For the day, for the, whatever, for the day, 6 months, you could use them all up on the same weekend. So all of our taxpayers maybe could get. Some of the stuff that's really charging us, like tires and mattresses, get something with. With the taxes or whatever that. Gives them a. Freebie for the year or something like that, and then, 'cause not everybody's gonna use it, not everybody's getting a new mattress. But. And then after that, maybe do something where they have to.
Lunch card though.
Yeah. It's gone, yeah, yeah, so that way all the attendant would have to do is. Whatever, collect it or rip it up or tear it in half or do something, kind of like what you were saying with the 2 tickets. So that way we're not having to deal with all those transactions too. Just talking about them.
In my mind, simple numbers like $5 a tire and, 10 bucks or 15 bucks a mattress. I mean, you also have to kind of factor in the dynamic of the transfer station and how fast everything moves, and we just kept it really simple. So
Yeah.
like it might be less than a hassle. Like that would probably get through some rolls of tickets a bit quick.
Yeah. But yeah, without adding a burden to the staff out there too, just something,
Right.
yeah.
I was gonna say maybe there would need to be like specific volunteers. Just for that.
Specific volunteers to do that and also. Do a sticker please weekend because
Yeah. We need more volunteers at the dump. It's like. Not good.
Tire, like, so the tires don't seem to be the big one. Like, we're probably the only transfer station in the state of Maine that lets you get rid of the resident get rid of 208 tires.
It's pretty significant.
But
That's a pretty good deal if you're
Sure.
private service station.
Yeah, right.
I mean, considering that, and we're only spending 10 to 12 grand here to get rid of tires, it seems the other issue is more. The bulky waste is the biggest cost, and this $25 mattress thing is just what's gonna. Push that button even further, I know it is. And I can't remember what the increase was, maybe it's like about 15,000, 20,000. I can't remember what the total was, but that's gonna,
Yeah,
a big chunk of that. Will be that, and then they'll probably go with it.
I mean, one other possibility for bulk waste, especially if someone comes in on a trailer, granted. The upfront costs be a little high, but I've lived places where you basically, when you drove in. You know, it scaled you on the way in, and then when you dumped off your trash, you drove back and scaled you in, and it immediately gave me your tonnage if there was like a. Tonnage price for bulk waste. I'm just,
yeah, parachutes do that, and yeah, and weigh you in and out. Then people discovered that if you went there on an empty tank of gas, then they're not.
I mean, I'm not recommending that we charge for a lot of different things. It was just, that was a big impact, and I mean, just $500 extra a month for something.
Yes. Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah. How many mattresses make a ton? You can see that's a lot.
Right.
That added up pretty quick.
right, yeah, I think it was cost of mattress.
Or maybe we need I like the idea of a ticket system for costs for tires. And dispose of 4 tires a year for free. But anything after that, a charge. Mattress a year seems excessive. It may be cost sharing, maybe that's the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So we'd have to get word out, and it would be a process.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of billboard at the entrance to the
Oh, yeah,
transfer station with, these items, and the price and big bold letters, and there'd be like a month grace period for people like.
We're gonna end up with 1 month, we're gonna have 100 mattresses.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's 30 days. Right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the last thing we want is people start driving the back of those dump their trash. in.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And it's happened, so
it happens when it's free too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Correct. We weren't open on Thursday.
yeah.
Right. Someone's in the waiting room.
probably because they're here from the select board.
Yeah.
So what are you giving? Cost share 15?
Yeah, I'm just pondering how to report it out to everybody and, you know. Yes,
Just a thought, if there is a time that you folks move forward with the dump sticker situation. But always make a handout to go with each dump sticker.
Oh, yeah.
So that they're getting all of the information at the same time.
Yeah.
Because everyone's gonna need to get dump stickers and that's wherever you go, and that way they would have a breakdown, right, with one sticker. Yeah.
Yep. I like that. Just put our thoughts when you started, because.
Well, it seemed like, I mean, burn through the excess budget. Pretty. Pretty quick, covering
Right. Over. Yeah. So sooner than later. Yeah.
And the last thing. In my mind that we want to do is try to take care of this. Taxes, so I think a lot of people in both Sumner and Buckfield are pretty overwhelmed. How much they have to go up already, right? Right.
Yes.
I noticed it's my personal copy. Sort of what you just talked about. We're all just like being land based right now, just supply, you might not wait till after we've actually gotten our real bills. And then have a rise up in the town instead of more going on and on. So there's a whole bunch of us really. For the towns have to be fixed right now, so we add another fee on top. I think the Ford being for years, great idea. That's like,
Yeah.
that's my thought.
Thank you. Yes, Sandra?
So I apologize, wait, just to clarify, to make sure I understand. That there would only be fees for. Mattresses or tires, like use of the transfer station. For regular household waste would continue to. It's just as it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the whole point behind this is not to make money for the town or to, but because of the increase in cost, this is to prevent taxes from going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people who do have excessive bulky waste,
Yeah,
who get 8 new mattresses this year, that they would. Just have to pay for that, but for use of the transfer station, would be getting charged for
correct.
household goods.
Yeah, those two items in particular have gone up significantly to both of. Yeah, $25 a mattress is what we're currently paying to get rid of one, so. If you throw a mattress away, we're paying $25 to get rid of it, it was, an extra $500. For 1 month, just in mattresses alone, so.
So I would suggest the most important piece is to get that information out there because misinformation is rampant right now, and that. I think what people are gonna hear is now I'm charged to go to the top.
Right.
And no, you're not, nobody is being charged to go to the transfer station. It's if you have. Whatever is,
One of-
they decide
Sure,
mattresses, tires, more than.
Right.
Right, because you're even saying if you have one. Tire, one set of tires,
right,
you're not gonna be charged or even one mattress. Yeah.
Because I mean, almost everywhere you go, to get your tires done these days, especially if you go to Auburn, every single one of those places has to charge a disposal fee for the tires, because it costs them to get rid of them.
Yes, Dan?
So, I think. Because I mean, I see it, because I have to do the paper when we do this, but right now the real concern is. Is the mattresses. I mean, looking at the numbers from last year for the full year on tires, I don't think it's a concern yet for us. I think it's something we should monitor. If we were taking them to main waste, that would be a different story, because $25 a tire would be bankrupt in the month. But, I mean, looking at the tonnage, I don't think tires would stick to the 2 tires a day or whatever. it, and if they want to get rid of more, they come in, you guys have tire tickets over there, right? We have them here, maybe I'll talk to Diane.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't believe we do.
So, but we do have tire tickets that are made up, so if people have 20 tires to get rid of, they come and we pay for those. If they want to get rid of them all the same day.
Yeah,
Um, but as far as what's costing us the most, it centers around the other bulky waste, right? That's the pit where everything goes that doesn't have a bin.
Yeah.
And it seems like then adding that increases that other bulky waste cost by a significant portion. Put it in perspective, there's over 1,000 tons of household trash. And it cost, the cost to get rid of that last year was only 43,000. And the other bulky waste at half the weight was sold almost 700. Yeah.
Yes, Penny?
I'm just gonna jump on the other side of this fence here for a minute. I don't know when the fee for the mattresses was made aware of. But I can just hear it now, yeah. We voted in June for the transfer station budget. After the fact, we start charging for certain items. It's not in the rule for well. You know, if this came in, you know, after the June vote, so be it. But I'm not sure how you can say all of a sudden we don't have, well, obviously it's been taken out of savings for the last few years to cover the transfer station, which is a problem.
Right.
So with this budget plan accordingly for a mattress issue, for a fire issue, or just asking. You know, I'm not sure.
That's right, yeah, so they started charging us more after the fact, yeah. Yeah,
And how much more is it? Like, what was the original price per mattress?
It was
It's just,
so when I ended up it, whatever they thought it works out that, but I find it hard to believe that 6 mattresses was
yeah.
Also, they don't have the couches and things like that is going.
Yeah, you're not charging us for those.
it's
Yeah.
bulky, but it's not the same as a mattress.
Correct, they're only charging us for mattresses,
Yeah, that's so strange.
so like they dump the load, they count the mattresses, and that's how.
and I think the idea with what we're trying to do here is to essentially keep the budget, because I mean, if we had to add that or come at a loss and come to the town at the next town meeting or a special town meeting and say, hey, we're $20,000 over our budget, we need to cover that. Instead of having to go that route, if we can proactively find what those few items are that are really putting us over budget and just essentially try to compensate for that, where if you throw away these 1 or 2 specific things, and it can be right there on the sign when you come in, it costs us this much, so in order for us to keep the town budget from going up, we're gonna charge, to throw away these items.
On the tires,
Yeah.
there was a particular person, I knew the person, and they were online. But going around all the towns. They get me stuff. That hurt me to really get it. And when I mentioned it, they said, my business. So the tire thing, that alone. For business and stuff, that's gonna make a huge difference. For the income for taking care. I think the tire comes very good. Not just better than genetic, the tire thing will stop you from that trust, but it is kind of discerning that. Someone can move into the area and start up a business to just dump whatever and say, or all that sort of thing. And really try. Absolutely, there's gotta be a way on that happen, I don't know what it is.
So I'd certainly love to know details.
I saw a post and I printed photos. Good.
Okay, so you.
Oh, I keep on.
Been trying to not. So.
I'll monitor it till the next meeting and see how much it is.
That's what I'm thinking, is we better, well, the better plan, like,
I'd also like the input from people actually working in the transfer station.
Yeah.
System with best for them and if they have any ideas.
We'll
Themselves.
know if we're gonna tank the budget pretty hard in the next 6 months, right?
Yeah.
Soon.
yes,
And you could also realistically see over the next 6 months how many mattresses are in. Because it might be 5.
Oh, they actually tell us on the invoices now, so it works out great, it's pretty easy to monitor.
Yeah, 3 mattresses.
yeah, so we can break it
It's
out.
20 last month.
And I mean, can you kind of see charges monthly coming out of the transfer station, or how often do you?
It depends on what we're disposing, so like I get an invoice for the main waste for. Other bulky waste and mainstream waste every month. Which will show me the mattresses. And then all the other stuff, so whether it's waste wood, sheet rock. Well, sheet rock and asphalt doesn't get, asphalt, shingles doesn't get hauled off very often. So I can see the tonnage every month of what's leaving the transfer station.
The only reason why I ask is because if, 2 months from now. If you saw things were starting to already get out of hand, I don't mind coming to a meeting a couple months from now, we don't have to wait
Yeah.
6 months.
Sure.
And I don't know what it's gonna look like, because this is the first invoice that I've seen.
Yes, Sandra?
What would be the best for big, put out the information that the solid waste committee is looking for how going forward, the town are going to cover the costs, these new costs. And say to the community is, here's the number to call, or here are the people to call, or here's where to, so people can share their thoughts, give feedback. Because we have to pay for these new costs somehow. Should it be distributed amongst all taxpayers evenly through the increase of taxation? Or should it be the individuals who, for whatever reason, have many tires and many mattresses to throw away, but to ask the community. And who should they contact? How should they? Rather than just leave it up to all of you to scan Facebook to see how they. So it's necessarily empty.
Is there a way that make town email address that's like solid waste at townofbuckfield.org and have those people email that and people on the committee receive those emails, so they can respond individually, or? That's just how it works, so yeah, we're on top thing.
Instead of Amy's email address, it would revert to mine, so I will have for it all.
Okay.
Great. Because you must have email addresses, so that's true. But then all of us can see this and.
Yeah.
Yes, Penny?
In the past, too, the town of Buckfield had put up a survey. For people to respond to, and then there was a fundraiser. And then you went by. Find that information, you collected on a survey. Which should help.
Yeah, because I have a survey of sorts on there, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So long as it's attached to like email addresses and stuff, because you don't want like one person responding on
Yeah.
5 different browsers.
Yeah.
Well, you had to enter
Their email.
you could only vote one.
Okay, yeah.
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 Yeah, I think a survey would be a start first step right up on the town's websites. And then additionally, any additional feedback be sent to us at the committee.
Yes, Sandra?
Perhaps designate who will respond to those, so it's not a new 100 emails that our town manager has to respond to. So some of them, the committee, be the point person to
To
respond to people's questions.
Okay.
I'd be happy to do that.
Azalea would like to do it. Everybody in favor? Thank you, Azalea. So I guess we'll table this for further discussion and information gathering.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we'll set up the survey and then our inboxes will be open.
Transfer station permit update. Effective July 1, 2024.
So if you registered your car since July, it was 2 meetings ago, we talked about changing stickers.
Yep.
Same colors, how this happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're in, Sumner has them, we have them, we're using a Google sheet so that they update it, we update it, we can all see it. Problem is, we're doing it with registrations, so the red ones will still be active or valid until the end of next year. So there's no easy way to just kind of distribute them and kill it without costing a ton of money, or, you know, having everybody come to the town office together. Yeah, but I'm hoping that changing the stamp sticker we've used for 30 years might actually catch the guy's eyes in the transfer station a little bit better. But yeah, I just wanted to know that both town offices have them. We're handing them out as people re-register the vehicles.
Great.
Thank you. Other business?
Nothing we need to take action on right now, but something we just brought up in previous select board meetings was that we're both enrolled, both Buckfield and Sumner are enrolled in the Community Resilience Partnership grant program. And we were considering the option of getting a heat pump installed at the transfer station for the attendants, because right now they just have a, you know, box fan and a little electric heater. So if that does come up in the future as something we want to do, maybe something you guys would be interested in splitting your grant funds with us, and just the same way we split the cost of the transfer station, you know, what's it right now, like we would cover 60% of it. Yeah, so we would cover that portion with our grant money, and you would for yours if you guys apply for the next round of grant money. Okay, great.
Citizen brought up a issue at our town meeting, and it's an older gentleman and wanted to know what we might be able to do about having some gutters put over where we get out to dump our main trash, especially in the winter time, it creates the ice patch right there, and he's concerned about slipping and falling, so that would bring it up. Not sure gutter will achieve the desired outcome, but
There's nowhere for that runoff to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like coming right off the front of the transfer station.
Yeah, like when you pull up beside the dumpster to get out and just throw your household trash in the compactor.
Yeah.
That line right there gets frozen. I don't know if it's just to try to stay on it with some ice melt or something on those types of days.
Right.
I guess is the only I can think of that makes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of a drain that's right there where that would.
No, it's gonna be right in the pit with the dumpster.
Right,
Right.
right,
Which continues to get blocked up and public works has to manage it without.
yeah. I hear where he's coming from, though. It does get slick over there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we not already like sanding or using ice?
I've seen him use ice melt over there at times.
I was gonna ask how the plowing of that works, because maybe we could just kind of request that spot right there gets flushed or sand.
Yeah.
Drop some sand on the way through. Do they plow that with the town truck? Yeah.
We go through the town truck and then sand, they use the one ton. So, the public works department has 2 employees, so hopefully I'll have more. More drivers, it's typically one person will run 1 ton clear apart lots through the transfer station, that's not. But if we're limited on staff. They end up getting to the roads, having the ice melt and result or whatever for the guys at the train stations. They should make sure that it's stopped out the most places. To be collected.
Yep. Any other,
Other way, that is the solution.
thank you. Yes,
You know, on groups, they have the. Block things that allow to maybe direct some of the rain and right, rather than stuff. We said about things, you know, like over, for instance.
yeah, burn stuff.
Right, brings it up, sets it to. Sod. Convert it, or something it away. If we can't put a gutter, maybe we can at least to take that out. Yeah.
I think you still would have got it there, you would just push the guys further down. Sure. Right, I mean, I think it'd be relatively expensive to put a gutter on each side, that is. Got this,
Move it towards the swap shop and.
because people would be walking them.
Yeah,
Right. They still need the ice, I mean,
I still need to use ice.
they still need to, salt it and sand it to keep it down, but at least it would keep it away from the. Travel when people walking.
Yeah,
yeah,
when I jump out of my truck.
right.
3 points of contact, well.
Yes.
So do you wanna like, see what a gutter will cost us on that spot at the next meeting?
All right, any other business? No, fair. Our next meeting would be,
Bummer.
yes.
Last year we had this, didn't we do, there's one in
We had-
December, there's one. in
yeah.
February.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, it's because of the swap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess December would. December, January would be the next.
Yeah. Does that work, or do you want to do one sooner?
Yeah, do you wanna put like a tentative sooner date so we can check in on the mattress situation if we need to, and if we decide we down to weeks. Or just back to December, yeah.
So, October.
October,
Good, second, third, right, second and fourth.
Yeah.
so the 8th or the 22nd. Either work for me.
Yep,
Either
two.
time.
There we go.
Should do the 8th.
8th.
Yep.
Nice.
And then what's the time that works for you guys again?
We'll do it before our select board meeting, so we'll just start at 6, try to keep it all the same.
Great. We need to vote on it. Now, we'll just set it. Yeah. So, we've set it out, we're good.
Everybody agrees?
We'll be great. All right.
So I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 6:55 P.M.
Seconded.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
We're gonna take a short recess before our next meeting. We'll come back at 5 after 7. That's the first. Great. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. So that's all good eventually.
I need to meet you.
Back at 7:05, I'll leave it running, okay?
Feelings. Because everything also builds together.
Right.
We're back, sorry. Yes.
Okay, we're back. Call this meeting of the Buckfield Select Board to order for August 6th, 2024 at 7:08 PM. We have a quorum. We have no old business, new business, the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda. I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Can you just make one note?
Yes.
Sure.
Kathy wanted me to know that there is a speaker, Valerie Bennett, that will be speaking at the library tomorrow. At 6 PM. She's a local author. Yeah, she just wrote about it.
So local author, not the library. Stay night tomorrow,
6 PM.
6 PM. Free of charge.
Yes.
Great. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, Bob, aye.
Celia, I. Heather, I.
Peter, I.
Sandra, I.
Thank you. Sorry. Approval of the minutes from the August 6th select board meeting. Yes,
I didn't have time to do them.
okay.
I realized that I with it, so.
Hold that.
Table that to the next meeting there.
You,
Do that.
you're busy? Yes. All right.
Just,
Look,
just a little bit.
all right. ART appraisals, reevaluation addendum.
So Rob from PRT had sent me an email and requested, as is allowed in the contract, to. Extend the due dates to. Change the due date from August 9th to August 30th. This would allow them the time to finish the hearings. And make sure that. They wanted to make sure they had time to review it and get through it rather than hand everything off. Without.
Yeah.
So, all they need is approval to extend it to August 30th from August 9th, and the same deliverables and everything will be. As they are in that contract.
Do we need a vote to approve that?
Yes, it's gonna require your signatures.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we. Approve the addendum. To an existing contract. To move the date from 8/5. August 9th, 2024 to August 30th, 2020.
I'll second that motion.
All right, any further discussion? Yes, Penny?
Someone's asking that if you met with KRT.
Oh, we'll get through that, we'll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, all those in favor, Bob, aye.
Celia, I.
Heather, I.
You're right.
Sandra, I.
Then,
Yes,
For the sake of the people who are here and the people who are listening. It would seem to me that the plan tonight is to get through these specific items. And then have time to talk about and answer questions.
yes,
On any topic, but in particular, I believe many people. Have questions or comments about the revaluation process. Okay,
yes, that makes sense to me, yeah, we definitely want to have some time for that.
okay.
Yep.
I don't want anybody to think that. That was the extent of the discussion for KRT tonight.
No, we were just voting to extend their contract out so that,
They have more time to meet with people.
yeah. All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Heating fuel bids,
Now it's very much.
all right, everybody.
yeehaw. Sorry.
Starting on.
Do you want to do the other
No,
half?
I don't.
Not very good at envelopes anywhere. What you forget, All right. I have a proposal from Strong Propane Services submitting the following bid for propane fuel, as listed to the town. For the fixed rate pricing, they are proposing a price of $1.65 per gallon delivered. For the variable rate pricing, they are proposing a 50 cent per gallon fixed margin over cost. For Friday, the 2nd, the cost was 95 cents, which would merit a price of $1.45 per gallon delivered. They would supply and set tanks at all locations being served at a total cost of $500, primarily for the two 1,000 gallon tank sets. Above listed pricing is based on the average usage gallons of 8,000 per information provided by the town, plus the initial fill gallons once the company-owned tanks are in place, approximately 900 gallons, giving a final gallon total of 8,900 for the proposal. And the rest is just payment information.
Gotcha. Well, I have Murray's here, they're looking at 8,000 gallons at $1 for $1, $1.4779. So. That's it. Yes, so fixed.
Yeah. You say that fixed? Yeah, yes, that was the special. It's a fixed price plan.
Yes, it's fixed.
And they did give you an option for fixed margin.
No, unless there's.
I was the only one to read them all. So,
Oh, I see, then there's a variable price, yeah,
There is one,
yeah.
what is
Should just be flat, so we'll just.
1.436.
75 cents.
1.436 per gallon.
Yeah.
And then I have a proposal from Dead River Company, and their fixed price option is $2.94 per gallon.
Brady? I know that it's down there.
Yeah, right.
So there's two parts there, there's propane and then we don't use a lot of heating on.
Gotcha, okay.
So is that number for heating oil?
All right, that was for heating oil, my mistake. Their fuel bid for propane, they have a couple fixed price options. One being, option number one being $1.72 or 73 cents if we're rounding per gallon. And the other options are the same, they're just for the following years.
They gave a 1 year, a 2 year and a 3 year, same price.
That's nice.
What was the variable for Murray?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's that?
For Murray, for propane, it's 1.436.
Market.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
so what you're saying is. So it would be. 30 cents per gallon is what they would charge us based on.
it's not.
Like, yes. Like, what are they gonna charge us over? Charge for a margin, whatever.
That was the one I had.
I missed you, if you would.
What'd you say?
Start as it's all here, that's it's. Whoa.
So Strong is just propane, Murray is propane and oil, and Dead River
Looks like
is oil as oil.
Yes, Sandra.
Is. Do you believe there's benefits to? Contracting with the same company for oil and propane, or just? Is there really no? Benefit?
the RFP allowed it to be stretched,
Having said that,
being able to use multiple vendors for two different fuels, it has its benefits, but obviously only having the right one checked to one person is easier to. I mean, it really comes down to pricing. I think it's a lot easier to budget. I mean, obviously, we already have a budget for fuel, but it's a lot easier to budget when you know that until May of next year, you're gonna pay X. Now, does that mean sometimes we might pay a little more? Yeah, sometimes you're gonna pay a little less.
so if we. Exceed the 8,000. Gallons. Then potentially we could be paying more. How confident are we? In that number, is it so beyond the
I get,
initial 8,000, we will pay, if like, right, we will pay. Cost us 40 cents. So how? I mean, I know you can't say for sure, but what's the chance that we go to 10,000 gallon?
so. And like I said, I love the buffer. Didn't use, I knew we used X. I added 10%.
Okay. So last year was particularly really, yeah, but then we do have.
There's nothing more about this building. The bulk of our propane use is here.
What are you thinking when you look at those numbers, Peter?
Well. Murray has got the price, but we've had some pretty bad luck, Right?
Yeah, no matter how good the price is, it doesn't do any good if you're out of fuel.
Now, have they corrected those issues? What they had?
It's all right, right.
We ran out of Tilton's, it's.
In all fairness, from the town's perspective, from my perspective, since the last run up that we had. They have taken measures to make sure that we don't run out again.
That's what I'm saying, is have they corrected those issues, like they were in a big transitionary period. And things fell through the cracks.
They. Have made sure that everything's topped off. They check it regularly. I did shut off automatic delivery while the RFP's out there just because. It made sense, but. They have been doing better. But again, I mean, last time we put out an RFP for heating fuel, I think last time we discussed it, Lauren was here.
Yeah.
And we made a motion to just go one vendor. Yeah. Without actually putting federal bids, so.
Yes,
Could the contract be written, would want to propose that the contract be written that. As long as we don't refuse delivery, that. If a municipal building were to run out of fuel, that. We can cancel the contract and go with someone else.
I follow up them on that, however, I know, and the reason I have these bids. To be due today is because by tomorrow, all those bids are different, because it's the price changes that we. Especially with the way the market's been responding, it's,
And hopefully if we were to go. Or with any company, that hopefully there would be no issues, and if there have been challenges in the past, that those. Things have been fixed, but. That if we do commit to a contract, part of that contract is, as long as we don't refuse. Delivery. That they will not allow, we won't run out of fuel. And if we do, then we. Can sever that contract with the issues. Just another.
read over the contracts that are there. See if it addresses. Remember, you guys just opened my head and looked at them.
yes,
It's true. I think it's. The others were just one page.
yes.
Which one's yours? What's the list of those price?
So to give you an idea. The average price, I think the last time I tallied it out, the average price over the course of last year for propane. For the town of Buckfield, it's $1.60. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but we paid $1.60. So I mean, this. So it's cheaper than what we paid this year.
Murray is. Cheaper at $1.48 per gallon. Yeah.
No, very.
Mm-hmm.
They have their, yes. It's 30 cents over. Current rate.
No, I was explaining out that the proposed price is. 12 cents less than our, which is here.
Well, the current rate of something. What do they mean by current rate? Next month, it will be $3 a gallon down.
If you go, so if we go with a fixed. We would pay what they have listed here.
Okay,
Up
so
$1.47 until May of next year, the end of May of next year. If we go with variable, we'd be paying that
30 cents.
30 cents over
Whatever.
whatever the current is. So if it spikes, now we're paying more.
they basically bought $50.
You're locking in at that $1.47, and with the amount of propane that the building uses, we would. That's a big saving.
But because.
So we have two. Bids for.
the heating oil portion.
Yes,
I've got Murray on it.
Yeah, the Murray one is $2, and 81 cents per gallon.
That's the fixed.
Yeah.
And the Dead River fixed is $2.94. And so Murray is the lowest amount.
Yeah.
But we just need to make sure that we are confident that they can provide the service the town needs.
state.
What's been started.
Alright, I'm confused.
Yeah, I need a spreadsheet.
Right. Well, I was thinking it'd be nice, have the numbers together.
Oh wait, this is, oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Yep, that explains it. So take those away.
Yes, too late.
It was highlighted too.
Well,
That's,
Thanks.
I will make a motion that we accept Murray's contract for fixed price. Let me start that again. I will make a motion that we accept the fixed price agreement from Murray. Yep, oil and propane. For their propane as well as heating oil.
I'll second that motion.
Any further discussion?
I think the contract amendment that you mentioned could definitely be worth exploring. But also, like you mentioned, they were kind of in a transitionary period.
I mean, I
Hopefully that, of
personally, I thought happy with them, I wasn't happy,
course, yeah,
but we're looking at. Numbers for the town.
Yeah.
Right, and I can't hold my personal feelings,
Mhm.
if they prove them in the last 6 months that. They're doing a better job than.
My concern is that more than one municipal building
Mhm.
ran out of fuel last winter.
Yes, Penny?
Would you just put it out and for the record,
Of course.
say you.
I would like to amend my motion. My motion is that we accept the fixed price agreement from Murray Oil and Propane for $1.479 per gallon for propane and $2.809 per gallon for number 2 heating oil.
You have to resecond that, I think.
Sorry, I said that.
Yeah.
All right. Go through the process.
Oh, you're good.
All right, any further discussion? No, all in favor, bye-bye.
Celia, I. Heather, I.
Sandra, I.
Thank you. MMA Executive Committee elections.
I will make a motion that we cast our vote at the next select board meeting on August 22nd, 2024.
I'll second that motion.
Oh,
I see it. Our meeting's the day before.
You're never gonna receive it in time.
Okay. All right.
So,
So now we're discussing.
all right.
so there's only, you have to vote for one and then vote for three, and there just happens to be one and three. Unless you have somebody else you want to vote for, but they don't give you an option for a write-in, so. It's more of a formality.
Sure. Do I need to rescind the
That's
motion?
like
Nobody
one
seconded.
thing, quiet, right?
Yeah. But the USPS is
Slow.
So the question, I understand. Yeah.
I will rescind my motion.
Alright.
I was just like, oh, how am I supposed to choose? I didn't even look at the ballot. There's only 1 and 3, so, good. All right, I will make a motion that we vote for Justin. So sorry about this, Poirer. Monmouth Town Manager for the position of Vice President of the Maine Municipal Association for a 1-year term.
I will second that motion. Alright, any discussion? All in favor, bye.
Celia, aye. Heather, aye.
You're right.
Sandra, aye. We'll make another motion that we elect David Sear, Michelle Baruo Cole, and Matthew Garside to the position of Executive Committee Member for a 3-year term.
I will second that motion. Alright, any discussion? All in favor, bye.
Celia, aye. Heather, aye.
You're right.
Sandra, aye.
Thank you. Alright. Public Works zero turn purchase.
So that was budgeted in the budget.
Yeah.
That was budgeted in the budget. That was in the budget. And I had pressing go get prices. They range anywhere from $7,500 to $13,000. The $13,000 ones. Those are more than what we need. That's a 60-inch deck, and we can't move a cemetery because it's too big. So we're looking at 52-inch. 52-inch grade lease, sorry, we already have a grade lease, very good luck with it. And the best price we could get was actually on a holdover. The price was actually $89.49, but by the time they left, they had gotten down to $7,500, so of these, 1, 2, 3. 5 quotes. My recommendation would be the 991283 from Reed Service Center. $7,500.
I'm sorry. Did you use?
That's a great way as well.
That was the Kawasaki.
Good cows.
Oh, okay, Kawasaki engines.
These are all graders.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
gotcha.
sorry, I take that back. Aqualon Garden, that was XMR. I believe all the other graders.
That's what we currently have.
Mhm.
We have an area and we have a grader. We can tell you lots of that grader. And it is a commercial. It's more of like. It's not a high-end commercial mower, but they originally got quotes, and when they came back and they had a zero turn like for $3,000, I was like, yeah, that's not commercial mower.
Right.
So I did some research and I told them at a minimum what we were looking for. And I believe they had 2 of these in stock in Wyndham. The other option was to go to the next step up for the 97.99 one from Reed's, but it would have to be ordered, and he knows when it would come in. Someone's gonna be ordered about that. Here. And disregard the tax. This is the tax. So we budgeted for 10,000. If we go with 75, or if you go with 75, we'll be saving money from what we had anticipated.
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase. Of item 991283-Z 52-inch furniture mower. All Seasons
Great service center.
Reed service.
Research Center.
Yeah, that's the other.
Reed Service Center. Oh,
the amount of $7,500.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Yes, Penny?
Yes,
Yeah.
how much? Good job.
And the original price for this was 89.49, but it's the holdovers, but that's why they're offering me, so.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, Bob, aye.
Celia, I.
Heather, I.
You're aye.
Sandra, I.
Planning board resignation.
I'll make a motion that we accept Jennifer Lowell's resignation from the planning board committee. I will second that.
Any discussion?
It's unfortunate, but
Understandable.
All right, all in favor, Bob, aye.
Celia, I. Heather, I.
You're aye.
Sandra, I.
Sorry.
That leaves.
We don't have a planning board, now. You only have one meeting.
If anyone is interested in contributing to the future of our town, we only have one member on our planning board now. So. No requirement for how often they meet, just as needed. Is that correct?
Typically once a month, we're still working on it. It's third Wednesday of the month.
We find your third Wednesday's free lot. Please join us.
So what is the process, right now, not having a planning board, if someone needs to. Get the planning board's approval for something,
I don't know that off the top of my head, and I was going to reach out to the legal.
I think it might be responsibility of this, I could be wrong.
I believe you're right, but
No questions.
I don't.
Pretty sure it falls back to us.
Things.
No, we can't serve on the planning board, but if there is none, we have to take up the slack on that.
Because at one point there, the planning board had been dissolved, and then there was a new ordinance passed to what's it called? Revive, reform,
Yeah,
reestablish, there you go. The planning board, so we have an ordinance for the planning board, and I don't know if that. I'm confused where we have an ordinance.
maybe. Be interested to hear what legal has to say.
Nope.
Did we lose it?
No, it's there. I was gonna look something up for you, and then I forgot what I was looking at.
Dancing turtles. So I do know that there will be. There's a community member who. Needed to bring something. To the planning board
Yeah,
in the near future, so. Is that something that you can easily find out?
I'll email them and maybe go tomorrow and see what they have to say. It can take them a day or two to get back.
Right, but once you get the reply, can you just forward it to the office?
yeah, we don't want to hold anybody up, that's for
But
sure.
please, folks, all you people out there, we have. Committees that we have to have.
Let's go. Two committee amendment number? You're really three.
We need three, so you can have a quorum with two.
Yeah, you really need three. The planning board's supposed to have 5 members and an alternate. We're severely lacking there. And the planning board is important when it comes to subdivisions. So. If anybody wants to. And. Although we haven't had any come to us recently, but somebody we're trying to say, open up adult marijuana establishment, there's no way for them to get that done. Or if you want subdivision regulations, we looked at, they're the only ones with the authority to review what they've done.
Good.
More.
But that,
It's depend a lot more.
yeah. All right, committee appointments.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Dana Johnson for 1 year to the Beautification Parks and Conservation Committee.
Discussion?
Yay. Thank you, Dana.
All right, all in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, I.
Heather, I.
Sandra, I.
Before we move on to the KRT stuff, is there any other town business to discuss? No, all right, so open the floor for the KRT information. Yes, Sandra?
When the time is appropriate, I think I have something I want to say.
I'm ready.
Um. So. I've had the opportunity. To have conversations with many people in the community about this revow process and. What their experience has been. I have tried to have the answers to people's questions. As I learn more, I just found out this evening that I'm learning. But what's important, I think, is that every taxpayer has a right to be informed about their taxes and how the amount of tax they owe, how that figure is generated. That everyone has a right to that information, and I believe everyone has a right to understand that information. So if you're just handed a piece of paper and you don't understand what's on that piece of paper, there needs to be that next step. Who do I talk to who can explain this to me? What I'm learning is that there are many, many people who don't understand and that they don't know where to go to get the information. I have a few pieces of information to share with people. If I am not correct, please, someone correct me because I am learning. That towns need to go through or should go through the reval process every 6 to 10 years. That Buckfield has not gone through the reval process for over 25 years. It needed to be done. We had to do it. It's not optional. That because we hadn't had the reval done in such a long time, there were some financial consequences, which included not being able for citizens to not be able to access the full homestead exemption. And that with this reval, we should be at the point where folks can access the entire homestead exemption. That the town, the select board hired a company, KRT, to complete the process of this reval. That the KRT was hired in an open public forum. Any community member could have participated, given their input, asked questions about hiring this group of people. So this was not some behind closed door, let's hire this group. It was a public decision. That KRT was hired to collect data on every property building throughout the town. That once they collected the data, and this, what I'm going to say next is a little different than what I said to some people today in the store, and I apologize, and I will contact these people directly to correct myself. That once KRT had that data, they hand it over to, Cameron, help me, what's the title? They collect the data and they give it to
to their raisers.
So there's a group of appraisers. The appraisers make their appraisal based on the data given to them, written data. The appraisers were not the people that went to folks' homes. The way they make those appraisals is based on the sales data of the previous 2 years. Like previous 2 years. That there is nobody in the town of Buckfield who makes judgments on how much anybody's home or property is worth. Nobody in this room, nobody in this building, nobody who works for the town decides the value of people's homes or properties. That if you have questions or you disagree with the assessment mailed to you, given to you by KRT, there is a process to contact them because maybe the data is incorrect. Maybe they had incorrect information. And if they did, you need to correct that information. Also, if you have questions, to contact KRT, not the town office, because KRT, the people who have the information to answer your questions. Having said that, if there are folks who still do not understand, I would encourage those people to contact one of your select board members. And that we as select board members will work to get the information so people can understand. I think that that is our responsibility. There are those two pieces that you come out of talking with KRT, you don't understand or you don't agree. And there's a difference. If you don't understand, then the select board, I think, is responsible for finding a way for people to understand. If you don't agree with KRT, there is still a process. And I don't know what that whole process is. It exists, KRT will give you that process. And we support people in going through that process. We can't change that process, as Select Board Cameron cannot change that process. The ladies in the town office cannot change that process. You have to go through the process if you disagree with the assessment. Mm-hmm. But if you don't understand, please reach out and ask for help and understanding. As far as the mill rate, and this is math, and it's confusing math. That, and please, Karen, if I'm wrong, correct me. You have what the entire town of Buckfield is valued at. And you have what needs to be raised through taxes, and that would be the municipal budget, the school budget, and the county budget. So you have these $2 amounts. And once you have these $2 amounts, it's a percentage. So if you own 1% of the value of Buckfield, you will be your taxes will be 1% of what needs to be raised through taxation. The mill rate is based on this map. It's not based on a group of people choosing the mill rate. I'm hearing people say things like they're going to raise the mill rate or they will keep the mill rate the same. The mill rate is not a decision that is made by any person or group of people. I'm sorry.
It's a calculation.
Thank you. It's a calculation.
Yep.
If someone wanted to kind of do the math and look at what the town overall is valued at, take away municipal areas because. The municipal. We don't pay taxes on that. You can put it up to, and you can make. An educated guess on what the mill rate would be. For obvious reasons, nobody here is going to say what the mill rate would be, because that would be fiscally irresponsible of us. But I think it's very safe to say that the mill rate will go down. We are hoping it will go down a lot. So the information you have, please do not take the new value of your home and apply the current mill rate. Nobody can afford that.
The overall budget, that's all.
And the final piece is that what needs to be raised through taxation is made up of three things: the municipal budget, the school budget, and the county budget. The municipal budget, which is what the town has control over, is slightly less than last year. Nobody's taxes will go up because of the town budget. The town is not asking for any more money, does not need any more money through taxation than it had last year. The amount has gone up, or the amount will go up because the school budget went up and the county budget went up. And those things are not anything that this body has any control over. So I hear that people are scared, and I hear that people are angry. And those numbers for many people were really big, or a really big jump. We support you in going through the process or in getting the information. But I would say to all you folks out there who are harboring a lot of anger towards the town, that none of this has to do with any decision that the town has made. I apologize if I went on too long.
And a question I've seen a lot and heard a lot is, how did they even come up with these numbers? Like, what are they based on? It was part of their proposal for our real property equalization project. After data collection, they enter analysis. KRT computes to the nearest $100 the value of all properties within the scope of this statement of services. The land values are established for all properties within the town by analyzing vacant land sales for a period of 2 years. If there is insufficient data, a land residual technique will be utilized. Factors to be considered in land valuation include the neighborhood, lot size, zoning restrictions, shape, topography, and all other factors deemed relevant, just like if you were dealing with acquiring a property with real estate. And residual building values will be generated utilizing a market adjusted cost approach. And to achieve this, a cost analysis is done to determine the replacement cost new, or RCN, for all building types within the town. Factors to be considered include the style, grade, or quality, size, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, and other various amenities that affect value. Once the RCN is established, an analysis of the physical condition of the property relative to its age is conducted. The resulting depreciation tables will calculate a depreciation percentage, and once the depreciated building value is established, it is added to any outbuildings and the land value to come up with overall market value. All values and tables are generated directly from the sales analysis. If someone wanted to read that for themselves, Azalea, where can they get that information? They can get this information right at the town office. We don't have this posted online, page by page, do we? But someone could come and ask for copies of this so they could take it home to read it. Absolutely. So for people that I talked to today was not clear with this information, I apologize. And again, I will reach out to those people. But let's say someone disagrees with this.
What do they do next?
You read your appraisal letter that KRT sent you, and they have contact information and information on the process that you will go through.
Yes, Penny?
New questions are arising since people have been meeting with KRT. And, they're not being told if they disagree with the KRT appraisal, what the next step is. So they're asking for, okay, I've had my meeting, I'm still disagreeing, what do I do next? Don't shoot the messenger.
No, that's a fair question. What do you do next?
So. The gentleman that was here today that they were meeting with is one of the data collectors from the speakers. So when they come in and bring their evidence of what they're concerned about or what maybe they missed. Hey, the upstairs of my garage is not finished. He's taking that information and bringing it back so that it can be reanalyzed to determine if the value. At that point, KRT would send a letter of a final value. In fact, I can't remember the exact term. I highlighted it in here. KRT will send all taxpayers who came in for an informal hearing a final letter notifying the taxpayer of their post-hearing value. This letter will briefly explain the taxpayer's next course of action if they are still displeased with their assessment.
Okay, so all the people who left the meeting with KRT who are just, not satisfied, they should wait for the next letter and then follow the instructions of the letter.
Correct.
And everyone will receive a letter if they come in and meet.
Or have it on, if they're doing it on the public speech. Perfect.
Thank you for the
I
question.
think Judy has a question.
Yes.
Yes, Judy?
Unmute yourself.
Oh, hang on, you're muted.
I had the opportunity this morning to talk to Douglas Rawlings, who is the KRT representative. I followed the instructions in the letter that came with my 5 different parcels of land, and they said to call the number and set up an appointment. And I did. You could either do it by phone or you can do it at the town office. Now, this is only up until August 14th, but I was able to meet him this morning, and I know other persons who met him today. And he went over all of my property calculations with me and explained how they were done. That is probably the best way, is to come in and talk personally to the person, to the gentleman or whoever KRT sends. The other thing, as I have suggested, is perhaps to have an informal meeting, or perhaps Cam has already scheduled something where KRT can explain to people how they arrived at the various valuations. I found, for example, that land, just raw land in Buckfield, which used to be valued on our taxes at $400 an acre, is now valued at $2,000 an acre. And that was an interesting thing, because I was on our house lots are now valued at a different thing. I think it's 34,000 something. I can't remember offhand the exact number. So there was a lot of information I got from him. And I now am willing to wait and see if everybody else gets the information and what the selectmen will decide to do with our budget. The selectmen have to decide what the budget is. They'll take the valuation and then they'll set the mill rate. So we really don't know until the mill rate is set, just how much our taxes will have gone up or down. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Judy. Yes, Heather.
So I just want to clarify something that Judy said, and I may be wrong. I believe that the budget has already been set by the voters, so the budget will not change. It's been set by the voters, and the mill rate will be decided based on the budget and the land values.
We will divide the budget by however many thousands of dollars, the land, all of the land in Buckfield is value add, and that will determine the mill rate. But we won't have that until these assessments are finalized.
So the way that, sorry, the way that calculation, again, I'm not assessor, this is just me from. The way the calculation
You
for
can
the,
go loud for the people in the back.
so the way that the calculation for the mill rate, or what the mill rate's gonna be, is determined by the. When you put that information, when you put the local assessment. As well as the homestead data, so how many homestead exemptions are in town. Betting exemptions, all that stuff was in this worksheet. And then at the end of the worksheet, it gives you a range. It gives you like the max overlay you can have and a range for the mill rate. And what typically happens is the assessor sets. You know, they use the worksheet to determine where the target overlay needs to be. I think last year it was. The overlay was 38,000, it was either 38,000 or 50,000, I can't remember off the top of my head. So that'll fluctuate that mill rate between that range of where you can be. It'll tell you what your lowest mill rate can be with zero overlay, which nobody does. And the highest, which would give you the maximum overlay, which is additional money that would need to be raised. Our target is not to change that overlay. From what it was before, which would keep everything the same, like you said, with the municipal budget. Not factoring in the school and the county, so it's not that. It's just an easy, you plug it in and you just get a mill rate, because it can be a range that can fluctuate quite a bit.
Yes, Sandra?
And just to be clear, all of that information that will be put into this worksheet is information that is available to everyone. The worksheet will be available to everyone. This decision will be,
It's
This
the form required by the state, we have to complete it, and it has to be submitted to the state. To show the math and show what the approved or accepted mill rate is. And the other thing that people need to take into account is if there's more assessment in the town, so more dollars. Less tax dollars per thousand needs to be raised, so. We're in that unknown of what are we looking at right now, and it's not that people don't want to answer. What's the mill rate? There's a lot of factors that go into it, and part of that is. If KRT is gonna make adjustments, there's no point in calculating anything right now, because I anticipate that there's gonna be changes. So.
Yes,
Okay, so you talked about the homestead
Yep.
subject a few times. I lived in Buckfield for 6 years. And when we sold our property and we built, I just presumed that the homestead followed. So I did not know, so there may be a lot of people out there that do not know, you literally have to come into the town office and fill out a form. And it won't take effect for this tax season, it's not gonna get into next year, so if you haven't applied for homestead exemption, you better get in here and do it if you want. 25 taxes to benefit from that. Secondly, when I spoke to Doug. I asked you, as you guys have stated, is over the last 2 years of sales, so we know that's been a little over the top. So we're all suffering from, and we may have great selling our place, absolutely, it's like, let's get this thing sold before this drops. It's gonna drop. He said, when that happens, we're gonna have to come to you all and say we need a reappraisal to put it back into a real, because what we're being priced on is not realistic. And it's not going to stay. It may be what it is right this second, but it's not gonna stay there very long. And so that's going to nosedive, and so a lot of people are gonna be upside down and stuck in their places, and their house is not gonna be valued nearly at what we're being told it is right now. Which right now it is being valued at the proper amount. But that's gonna change really quick, so do we have assessors that the town themselves can do reassessments when this bottoms out, or do we have to pay $80,000 again in 2 years to have KRT or whoever come back in and do that over? It's a great question.
yep. Right, and it's something we did consider, when we were discussing this, it's just our hands were somewhat tied. And we had to do it. Because it hadn't been done in
Over 25 years.
over 25 years.
Understood.
And, obviously we were gonna lose some benefits from the state and the homestead exemptions going down, so we had to do something. Um. I'm not sure if we would be able to use our local for that, or if we should go with I think it would have to be outsourced for fair assessments, right?
Without, I believe, and don't quote me on this, because again, I'm not an assessor. And I don't understand all the laws. I believe there is a way to do you can factor down the assessments. If the market tanks and like everything goes down, there is a way that towns can factor down to appropriate, it would be across the board, obviously. So it wouldn't be as ideal as going up to every house and saying, okay, this is, but it would be, you could factor down to a lower assessment based on the market. Now, am I 100% positive in that? No, I vaguely recall hearing that as an option, a couple of years ago. The problem when we looked at the revale versus sort of, or doing like a ratio or going up in value just across the board, is there was a lot of stuff in town that was not being assessed. And there were a lot of people benefiting from because we were paying higher taxes because of stuff in this town that wasn't even showing up on our taxes. That could be, it could have been during COVID, maybe it could have been when the town office had a high turnover of staff. It could have been, I'm just not gonna take up building permits. It could have given a bunch of.
Whatever.
So it wouldn't have been fair to just say, oh, well, we're at 55%, so let's increase the town's value of everything by 45%, call it a day, because now you'd be at 100% on what the state says, we should be at the town, but you wouldn't be paying what you should pay equitably because you're paying more residents. So that's why at the time, that wasn't an option that the town was willing to look at, because we wanted to make it equitable.
Yes, Sandra?
So as a taxpayer. I agree with you. I believe that if and when that happens. That it would be a matter of coming together as a board with the input of the community, because ultimately the community voted on the rebound. Right, as part of the budget.
They had to.
But that, yes, something would need to be done. And what would be the most accurate, yet most fiscally responsible way to go about doing it? And whatever that would be, the proposal would be based on what the community wants. And if there's a solution like Cameron just brought up that may work for everybody, we do that. But if we have to go back and do a revow, it would be a matter of whether or not that's what the community wants. But I hear you, these figures are crazy. That's not my profession, Kevin.
She took it from me, I was down again.
Yes, Penny?
What I'm reading. If you're not pleased with the answer, you will have 185 days from the date of commitment to file for an abatement application with the assessors. If the abatement is denied, you have 60 days to appeal the decision in front of the municipal board of assessment review or the county commission. If again it is denied, you have 60 days to appeal the decision with the state board of property tax review. Yeah.
So there are many
There's steps.
to this.
To go with that, the errors and omissions, right? So if after that 185 days, an assessor discovers that there was an error in an assessment or an omission in any assessment, they can either supplement or they can initiate an abatement. And then if an error or omission is discovered more than a year out, the select board has the ability to do that up to 3 years. So
And it's been done over the years. There've been plenty of abatements along the way.
Other questions?
Yes.
People agree that we support. The community members and going and asking questions, and if you disagree to go through this process, I know I support people in doing that, and
Yeah.
we're not discouraging people from asking questions.
We were actually gonna sit in. Prepare. Review, just so. We'll have a first experience with it as well. You've heard some issues that the guy was very helpful, I didn't have answers, so he put his claims.
Well. There's collecting data and taking it back to people who will read that.
You want a first hand account,
Yeah.
it's going.
And we do, but people came to us with concerns, and so we're following, and any select board member. You meet with people and you don't understand, contact any one of us and. We'll look at different ways we can get information so people can understand. Everyone has a right to understand.
You know, absolutely, you know, like I said, too, we were at 70% valuation. If we felt 1 more point, 2 more points down. We would have had no choice but to do that. So,
The real issue is,
once you. It's all in or nothing,
Yeah.
Right.
and we're in.
and going forward, we need to go more often than. 5 years.
We were at 70% by certified, they'd like to certify up to 10% of our. When it comes to your reimbursements, your homestead. And then, so we were really at like 60 and we certified at 70. And it said that we're working on implementing the reval, so that's where we get that 10%. And then this year it plummeted to 55%. And when I sent the stuff off to the assessor and we certified at 100% based on implementing the new numbers this year. If that's unable to happen by October, we're certifying at 55%. Homestead exemptions will only be worth $13,750, which was everybody's taxes that had the full homestead exemption will go just because of that.
We want to avoid it.
Yes.
You know, and basically, we're getting people that are. And it's a surprise to them, you know, they knew they were getting success. But I don't think they really knew how it happened or why it was being done. And I think that was like a big part of all of a sudden these letters that everyone's mailboxes, and feel like. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, they're big numbers and we absolutely completely understand. And that's why we're here to help explain, talk things through. Yeah, listen.
Fortunately, there was a lot of sales data from land and Buckfield over the last 2 weeks. Yeah, and those sales were.
The worst time.
Sorry. I'm sorry. But I told you to local person. You're not, I don't. Still like the house that sold. It's still a price we low, so.
Yeah.
It was less than 2 years. So.
Have you been
Interesting.
buying for the last 2 years? Looking to buy?
They built.
Right. As somebody who has been looking for housing since before I got on the select board. It's been obscenely discouraging to watch. The numbers just go up and up and up. So yeah. We absolutely understand the frustration. And you know. Not everyone has the time to tune into every select board meeting, so we're happy to fill in the missing pieces. Yeah.
Yes, Judy?
Just get that meter, so
You're muted.
She's.
Hang on, we can't hear you.
Okay, okay, the prices of a lot of housing has gone up, this is true. But if anyone wanted to buy our fire rescue station, they would find they could buy it for less than our original mortgage. Because it's now being valued, what is it, Cam, 800 and some
30.
thousand? 830,000 down from the 1 point something million plus all the additions we paid for it and are still paying for it. Who knows? Anyhow, I just thought that was ironic.
Will have asked me why. And I have to say. I'll have to ask KRT.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I don't answer.
right, I don't think we have the data right now. You will have asked why, has that value dropped?
That's an excellent question.
And the municipal buildings and school valuations already calculated illegal.
If you look at the Buckfield High School, it's valued at, I think, 6 million, 7.9 million. Yeah, they're currently talking about building an addition to that school to move sixth graders over there, and I think the cheapest option for in addition to either that or Hartford Sumner was $11 million, with the highest rebuilding one big school for 65 to 70 million.
Or have the others that short them.
Sure.
It's so, I mean, you couldn't rebuild that school for. And I don't know if there's a different factor for tax exempt municipal building,
Well, we'll ask.
because I mean, how many if you're looking at sales, how many municipal buildings,
Right.
and they usually sell at a discount because they're trying to convert them.
Right, it's a specialized building, you know, it's like.
So that, it's like,
Not everyone wants
maybe
fires.
Right, right,
Very cozy.
now. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 8:20 PM.
I will second.
All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone who attended. Fun one.